They have a deal. The European Union just announced 50 billion euros worth of aid to Ukraine through 2027 to fund its defense against Russia. Now, the exact details aren't public, but what has played out very much in plain sight is how one country, one leader, stood firmly in the way for so long.
Hungary was standing alone here.
Hungary's prime minister, like all member states, has the power to veto certain areas of EU decision-making. But why has he, for weeks, so singularly been against the idea of sending money to Ukraine? Viktor Orbán is the EU's longest-serving head of government. At 35, he was actually the youngest prime minister in Europe. He lost the next two elections, but swept back into power in 2010 on the heels of the global financial crisis. Over the next 14 years, Hungary changed.
Within a few years, he pivoted to this, what he calls a liberal democratic agenda, which is essentially, to his critics anyway, curtailing democratic freedoms and curtailing freedoms in public life generally, whether it's in academia, the media, or civil society. And really, it's about creating a system of total political control over Hungarian life.
He enacted a new constitution, rewrote all of the basic laws. And really, by 2013, Hungary was already a dictatorship.
More recently, Hungary also suffered. Look at what happened to its inflation rate over the last 3 years. Like most Western countries, it's getting back to normal now. But 6 months ago, inflation was over 17%. 12 months ago, it peaked at 26.2%. It's only now gradually recovering from recession, its longest in decades. Its economy shrank, its currency declined.
Hungary's situation is fragile. It has a high inflation rate, high interest rates, and because it's not a member of the euro, it doesn't have that sort of shield. So it is potentially vulnerable to market pressure.
But importantly, Viktor Orbán has demonstrated again and again a very clear willingness to butt heads with the EU.
And he's not afraid of doing so. Indeed, he seems to relish doing so when he feels it serves his interests.
Orbán never gives away something for nothing.
And just to show you how dysfunctional this relationship can be sometimes, back in December, with Orbán as the lone holdout against the idea of opening up talks with Ukraine about joining the EU, Germany's chancellor reportedly suggested to Orbán, why don't you take a break? Like, just leave the room for a bit. Because according to the EU's rules, a unanimous vote where one member abstains, that still counts as unanimous. So Orbán left the room, his head held high, still able to claim that he never voted in favor of this, while the rest of the room quickly tallied the votes. The vote passed.
Viktor Orbán went to the loo. It was, I think, the most expensive technical break of a politicians for European Union, if I'm right.
But sometimes the disagreement runs deeper. In 2020, along with Poland, Hungary blocked the EU's long-term budget and COVID recovery fund. Orbán has been vocal about the EU's migration policies, and the rule of law, adhering to democratic principles, has for years been a contentious issue, which happens to tie in directly with today and what was a weeks-long standoff with funding for Ukraine hanging in the balance. Since 2021, the EU has had the ability to suspend payments to its member nations if those nations do bad things. These rule of law violations over human rights, corruption. EU members have even called for Hungary to face the European Court of Justice for turning away asylum seekers and laws that they claim are homophobic.
Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte had some strong words for his Hungarian counterpart, Viktor Orbán, on Thursday. Respect LGBT rights or leave the European Union.
It's my intention on this point to bring Hungary to its knees.
It's absolutely a rollback on fundamental freedoms, democratic freedoms, and he styles himself as a sort of true Christian conservative, so has been very anti LGBT rights and has been clearly very anti-immigration.
The EU held back about 20 billion euros worth of funds for Hungary over these concerns. And just for context, that amount of money is more than a tenth of Hungary's GDP. And for Viktor Orbán, that's absolutely relevant to whether money should be sent to Ukraine. These are his own words.
Féltünk attól, hogy a magyaroknak járó uniós pénzek, amit a bizottság eddig nem adott ide nekünk, előbb-utóbb Ukrajnában kötnek majd ki.
Hungary was also concerned about committing so much money to Ukraine over such a long period without proper oversight. And it's worth mentioning, Orbán and Vladimir Putin are on friendly terms. Orbán is considered to be Putin's closest ally within the EU. So in December, he blocked the deal. And that really ticked off the EU, which sees this funding as possibly the difference maker between whether Ukraine wins or loses the war. It was so angry, apparently, that the Financial Times reported on an EU document that it said outlined a plan to sabotage Hungary's economy if it continued to block the deal by undermining investor confidence, attacking Hungary's currency, and damaging jobs and growth. Now, CBC hasn't seen or verified this document, but it was apparently serious enough for Viktor Orbán's political director to respond. Brussels is using blackmail against Hungary like there's no tomorrow.
All of these questions require unanimity in the EU, and that gives Orbán, who is, after all, only one among 27 member states, and Hungary is not a big country, that veto power gives him a lot of influence. And indeed, there are many EU member states who think it's in their vital national interest that Ukraine gets this money. And that's why they were, I think, so offended, actually, about his obstructionism on this issue.
There's no problem with so-called, Ukraine fatigue, for sure. We have Orbán fatigue now here in Brussels.
But I know Viktor Orbán well. I know him by knowing that it won't be easy to convince him.
But here we are, within hours of meeting for urgent negotiations in Brussels, word of a deal. Now, according to the reporting I've seen, it does not appear that the 20 billion euros being withheld from Hungary will be paid out as part of the deal. That's not part of this. So what, if anything, Orbán received in exchange for his yes vote to fund Ukraine? That's not clear. But EU officials have said there will be a regular review of how the money in Ukraine is being spent.
The headline is, Ukraine wins, Europe is united. But really underneath the scenes, it may be that Ukraine wins, but Europe is definitely not united.
This breakthrough agreement is clearly a win for the EU because it means that it can now proceed with this financial aid package for Ukraine. But I think it's not the end of the Orbán, the disruptor story. He has many years of disruptive behavior behind him.
From Orbán's perspective, this is a win.
Ezt az ajánlatot elfogadtuk, örülök, hogy a piacok, a gazdaság élet reakciója már most pozitív erre a megállapodásra.
His message to the world, we stood our ground.